Hey, we're good. All
Hey.
right, everyone. Hello.
Buenos
This is an
dias.
all-star announcement stream from the Overwatch Community Cup. My name is Sci-Fight, aka Chase, and I'm here with High Noon,
Yellow.
Childish Rambino,
Hello.
and the Overwatch Community Cup's own Ikariel, the assistant commissioner.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Off to you, Noonie.
No, it's you first. Well, we over here at the Overwatch Community Cup have a mission, and that mission is to facilitate proper and healthy team creation and a safe and nurturing environment. Managers, coaches, and players to improve themselves. Any player is welcome to join us. I mean, if you can pick up a mouse, keyboard, whatever, you start shooting, just join us over here. Have some fun.
Let's go over some rule changes over Season 2. And Carriel, also, what do we do if we want to become a coach, manager, or player?
Yeah, so in order to become a coach, manager, or player, in order to be a manager, it's really simple. Actually, the form has been out for quite a while now in the OWCC Discord, where all you have to do is provide your Discord ID, your name, what it is, answer some questions to include what team name it is you would like, and then you just put it, and you just submit it. I review it. If you don't receive anything within like 24 hours from myself or Uma, then you can go ahead and assume that your application has been accepted, and you can try and start and recruit players. Now, in order to become a coach or a player, it's the exact same process. The difference is, um, it's a form that's labeled differently. That's more labeled or more geared towards a specific genre. Like coaches, their forms are only just going to be, what previous coaching experience do you have? What position are you looking up for? All those types of the deals. Like, are you looking for a head coach, assistant coach, a VOD reviewer, things of that nature? Um, Players are just simply going to be what their Discord ID is, what hero pool they have, like what role they're playing, whether it be DPS, flex, tank, support, all those fun things, and then your current peak SR, and then that'll be submitted. Now, it should be noted that for players that are already on teams, so if you're already on like a pre-made team such as Shanghai Stagger, Small Dynasty, Vancouver Vixens, any of those guys, you do not need to submit a form as a player, because your form is basically submitted through the actual team form. The team form, if you're wondering, for those of you that are probably curious about that, is doubles as the manager form. So for those of you that are already have pre-made teams that are really wanting to re-put your team in or whatnot, you just simply go to that form, you fill it out. And if you're looking to start your own team, you just select that option, and the form will change itself and go to the appropriate questions for you. Now, it should also be noted that for those of you that are wanting to start new teams, you have until pardon me, you have until the 28th, if I remember correctly. Hang on, let me double check myself. I'm a pletch. I don't normally do this kind of stuff, so um, you have until the 25th, I lied, of February in order to get your team situated to have the bare minimum. The bare minimum basically meaning you have one team manager, which in this case would be yourself, and 6 players that you can put in a game. Once you have those and you've updated it and sent it to us or whatnot, then your team, as long as it's before then your team will be official. Um, Another thing that is to be noted is that if for pre-made teams, during the time that these brand new teams or up and coming teams that are really wanting to be started and create new friendships and all these fun things, you are not permitted to recruit from the looking for player section. This is only done after uh, that deadline that I stated earlier for these new teams has been passed. Once that date hits, then you can go and start recruiting. This is so these new teams don't have to compete with already settled teams to actually gain slots for their players. They can just go out, look for players, try and grab them. They get the cream of the crop, so that way we can start new teams and hopefully we can create better teams and more teams from here, as opposed to trying to reach out to a bunch of different organizations to actually get them here. Now, with all that aside, a lot of the rule changes that are coming out. So first off, last season, or I guess technically this season, since it's still technically going on, the way SR was calculated was whatever your current average SR was, that's what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Period. we're changing that rule. That is no longer in effect. Starting in season 2, we're doing a stage locked SR system, where for now, average SR is still calculated the same way the last 3 placed seasons. Put peaks, you put those SRs together. That's what your average SR is considered, and that will be. And no matter what, however much you climb or whatever, once the season starts or the stage starts, whatever that SR is, that is what you will be considered for the remainder of that stage. So if you, for instance, if you came in like say a platinum player, right? Let's say a platinum player came in, that's what they averaged out to be. They go in and they end up stage starts, they're platinum. By the end of sometime in the middle of the stage, they end up climbing themselves up to masters or something, right? Huge climb, but hey, let's say it happens. They're still considered the platinum player because that's how the lock system works. On top of that, no longer are we gonna be doing the if you touch masters, you're a masters player. Period. You need to average into masters or finish a season at masters. Once one of those two are met, then you will be considered masters and are no longer eligible to play for OWCC. It is no longer the second you just touch masters that you're now a masters player. You can't play anymore. That's incredibly unfair. It really kind of facilitates people to want to sandbag their SRs, throw games, and not want to actually climb. That's not what we want. We want to promote people to climb, play competitive, play with their teams, and actually climb through the ladder. We do not want to prevent that from you guys. So those are some of the really big changes that are coming for next season. On top of that, we're also doing a difference in how we're doing scheduling. Scheduling will no longer be a battle for a bunch of different random times that people decide to throw out. There's a block system that we are moving to now, and our goal is to have as many games already, have all of our games, what do you call it, pre-scheduled weeks in advance. If we can, we would actually love to have the entire season pre-scheduled. We understand that that's not obviously possible for everybody, as some people just can't guess their schedules in advance. They just can't do it. At least not that far.
Yeah.
And we understand that. However, we do want to have as many games scheduled as far in advance as possible. This is not just to provide a little bit more stability to the schedule, but also is to help out these glorious casters that you see around me that work very hard. They do a lot of work, a lot of things in the background that you guys don't really notice. Yeah, this dude, and that guy right there, Childish Rampino, they all work really, really hard behind the background. Spiff Task does it. Julik does a lot. It's to really help these guys out and give them more than enough time so that they can get these streams together and bring you guys a really well produced game that you guys can really enjoy and watch without having to rush them or making them feel burnt out or stressed out over it or anything. Because a lot of these guys, to be honest, they do this for free, and we want to make this as simple for them as possible. So other than that, there's not too terribly many big differences coming. So a lot of this stuff is really more behind the scenes, small minor tweaks that may happen. But I will say that everyone should keep an eye on the rulebook, as it will be updated as time goes on to adjust for both the growth and the growth of the OWCC and as just incidents arise and whatnot.
Awesome. So now that everyone knows how to get into the Overwatch Community Cup, let's announce the up-and-coming teams that are entering the Overwatch Cup from Season 1. So, Noonie?
So, the old teams that are coming back is Florida Harmony, their manager Bossface, who went 0-6 during Season 1. And we have Vancouver Vixens with their manager Hunkrat, who were 2-4 during Season 1. Dallas Derange with their manager Juno, who were 3-3 during Season 1. And Shanghai Stagger with their manager Rune Lee, who were 4-2 during Season 1. Shanghai. Whoa.
Yeah, some boys.
So I would like to chime in here as well, talking about the older teams that played this season. We saw definitely Shanghai Staggered perform very well. Their control maps were on point, but we also want to give some special shout outs to Carolina Cosmic. They were phenomenal, and definitely without question they performed extraordinarily well. Their entire team was very well coordinated.
Yeah, I totally agree. Sad that Florida Harmony went 0-6, but their matches were really close. Same with Boston, the downsizing. They had a lot of close losses, which were As a home Boston fan, I was like super disappointed, but to be honest, I think they're definitely going to improve season 2 if they continue to stay with us. So see what
Oh,
they
yeah.
can do about that.
Also, if any of the new teams, the old teams that aren't on this list are still wanting to join, it's not too late. You can still put in the forms and stay with us, please.
Yeah, I'd really want
Well, I
Boston to
mean,
come back with the same roster. That'd be
it'd
cool.
be really
Oh
cool
yeah,
if
that'd
you
be awesome. I'd love to see a lot of
really
these teams
cool.
decide, you know what, we'll stick around for one more season, just because that'd be awesome, just to have them come back.
Yeah. Noni, you want to chime in?
I think it'd be good. You know, I just want to see more McCree, please.
More McCree? All right.
Make
That's
right
fine.
click.
The high noon
Right
name.
click has returned.
Yeah.
McCree, please. Any of you. McCree mates, come on.
So we'd also like to announce some few new teams that are going to be in the Overwatch Community Cup. We don't have any art for them sadly. The Paris Roosters, with their manager Lazarus, are coming along. Team Escort with the manager Kai Shai. The Paris Pink Sox with manager TF Buffalo. The Chengdu Blunders with manager Quab. The New York Mediocres with manager Combra. And the Toronto Compliant, which I love that name, with manager EV. Yeah.
Awesome. We'd also like to announce that season 2 of the OWCC will be on March 11th. Mark your calendars.
Yep, and the All Stars is going to start January 28th. Here are all the All Stars from Division 1. For tanks, we have Chicken Nugget for Shanghai Staggered, Setsubo for Small Dynasty, Moad from Dallas Derange. For DPS, we have Rutix from Shanghai Staggered, Illumai from Carolina Cosmic, Ace from Philadelphia Confusion, and for support, we have Lazy Healer from Carolina Cosmic, Salty Healer from Small Dynasty, and Gregory from Philadelphia Harmony. Absolutely love that.
One moment. I think I might have gotten a few of them.
You forgot the flexes.
I forgot the
and
flexes.
The coaches.
Yeah,
and the coaches.
Hey, here, hold on over here.
Sorry, he's scuffed. I don't
I think,
know.
Carl, you want to
Yeah,
list off those real quick?
Yeah, sure. All right, so unfortunately, Plat Streamer over here.
I'm
forgot
actually
to-
Plant.
Oh, you're actually Plat.
Yeah.
That explains so much. So, there is a flex and coach slot. So for the flexes, Lucky Owl from Dallas Derange has also been selected to be on the All-Star team in the flex position, and Sect from Carolina Cosmic.
Yep.
And for the coaches, the one and the only Incario, myself, have been selected for the head coach for Division 1 from Shanghai Stagger, and Billy from Dallas Derange will be my assistant coach for the team.
Awesome. Okay, yeah. Scuffed stream because I had your name in it. That's probably why I forgot.
Because
Oh,
all
wow,
plants.
thanks.
So here are going to be the All Stars from Division 2 that are going to be facing Division 1. So Tanks, Arc from LA Glory, Yeti from Boston Downsizing, and Small Squid from the Houston In-Laws. In the DPS slot, Momo from SF Shook, Korosu from LA Glory, Ghost from SF Shook, Soups from Boston Downsizing. In the support position, Foon from LA Glory, Kaus from London Riptire, and Fancy Raptor from Houston In-Laws. On Flex, Decaf from Boston Downsizing, and Baben from London Riptire. And a coach, it's going to be Pseudo from the SF Shook, and the assistant coach is going to be RA from Boston Downsizing.
Awesome. I really look forward to facing the other coaches, Pseudo and RA, in our match. And also, now that all the All-Stars are announced, we're going to go over some new and exciting projects that the Community Cup is also going to be doing. So, as you're all aware, with the All-Stars, it's going to be a big game. Of some of the best players, at least voted by the community, you guys, are going to go head-to-head, have some fun, may or may not pull out some meme strats to have, just have a real good time, and ultimately...
6 McCrees.
Yes, 6 McCrees, because we're gonna hack the game and make 6
Hey,
McCrees.
no
And
limits
we're
is
gonna
there. I
go-
mean,
Hey, yeah, that's true. We're gonna
Awesome.
go out, have fun, and then we'll get to some division pride in there and get people going. Another thing we're gonna be doing is during the off season, we're going to facilitate for any players, coaches, managers, and this time coaches are allowed to play during this. I can't wait because I will be playing in this. Is we're going to be doing a form of random draft tournament. where any players, coaches, managers, casters, anyone at all who wants to participate is going to submit. I'll create a form for it. It'll be posted at the end of after the finals match. Form will be posted where you can put in what your Discord ID is, what role it is you want to play, whether it be main tank, off tanks, hit scan DPS, projectile DPS, all that'll all be divided for you, and then you just submit it. And what's going to happen is basically after about a week of leaving this open and letting every people go in, people are just going to be randomly drafted and thrown into it. Like, there's not going to be any division of are you a DPS, are you a support, are you a tank, or main tank, off tank, nothing. You could end up with 6 main tanks on one team. And
That's
and
my
this
kind
will
of meta.
there will be no limits placed on this, and it's just going to be these teams go in and basically just see what you can do with what you got and see how far you can get and just have fun. Just meant for something to have fun to let everyone play together and whatnot. Not going to be any coaches for these teams. It's just going to be 6 teams, or not 6 teams, but it's just going to be a bunch of teams with 6 players in each of them. I might go up to 8. I don't know yet. And just put it out there, let people have fun. And just do whatever. On top of that, I do also want to point out that for this next season, following this stream, I'm going to be posting the OWCC player/team list for everyone to view, and you will not be able to edit it, but it will be up to view, and I will be constantly updating this. What this is going to be showing is every single team that is currently confirmed, who their managers are, who their coaches are, who their players are, to include their current average SRs, so that everybody can keep track of them, and we don't have anyone accidentally going after somebody that they shouldn't be trying to get at. And also for players, so they can try and send, maybe go and get a hold to some teams that have openings for what it is they want to do and what they're trying to play. Same for coaches. It'll also help all our managers keep track of how many free agents we have out there, how many players that are still looking for teams, and if any players that are wanting to start their own team, they can go out and do that. If they notice that there's just a bunch of people that haven't been selected for a team yet, hopefully that'll encourage them to go and just put themselves out there and be like, you know what, I'll be the manager for this team, and then they can try and recruit some of these guys themselves and build their teams. Also on top of that, now this is something that I personally am wanting to do. This is a strictly me project that I am doing, but it is going, for it to work, it's going to require all of you guys to help me. What this is, as we're all aware, the current gold medal system that Overwatch uses basically compares apples to cats. It doesn't give you the information that it needs, as humorous as that it might sound.
Mhm.
It doesn't, it compares, a DPS to a tank on how much damage they do. No one cares about that. A tank's not supposed to be doing damage. That's not how that works. So instead, what I've done is I've gone and compiled an entire spreadsheet of every single hero, all base stats to include hero-specific stats that the game already tracks for you. And what I'm going to do is anyone that wants to, this is purely voluntary from everybody, whether you are a player or not, to submit. I'm going to make a form for this. This will be out probably next week. I think on Monday. Keep an eye out for it. I still have to create the forms for everything. Basically, you're going to go into the form and you're going to submit, and just go into your Overwatch. Just go into your Overwatch game under each of your heroes that you want to submit this for, and you're going to put in it basically the stats. You're just going to copy and paste your average stats or whatever. It has it listed pretty blatantly on what it is you're looking for on that hero, and I'm going to compile it into an average based off of the SR of everybody and their hero, so that you can tell how it is you're competing and how you're performing compared to other players who play the same hero in your SR. That way, as a tracer, you're not getting gold for beating out an Ana and doing damage. Congratulations, you beat a support. That's literally not their job to do DPS. Instead, you can look at other tracers, what the average stats for everyone and your rank is.
Mhm.
You can go and you can look at this and say, okay, maybe I need to do more damage. Maybe I should be focusing more on flanking or whatever. Maybe I need to work on my weapon accuracy, my ultimate usage, things of that nature. And that's what I'm really hoping that this stat sheet would really help everyone with. Again, this is strictly up to you guys whether y'all want to submit this with me. I'm going to be putting all of my stats into this as a baseline for
Mhm.
everything. But if anybody, caster, player, coach, VOD reviewer, manager, random old lady down the street, I don't know, anyone who plays Overwatch, and you have a rank, then whatever rank it is you are currently in, that's the rank you're going to select on the form. I don't care if you're 2997. Guess what? You're still plat, buddy. You're plat. Send that information to me, and that way I can compile it and really put it out, so that you guys have this type of resource to really be able to compare yourself, to everything else and everyone else within your own SR. I really believe that this is something that can help everybody, and I'm really gonna do my best to try and keep it updated as much as I can for everyone, so that it's useful for everybody. On top of that, um, I'm also doing an all call to any and all coaches, whether they be wannabes or current, to include myself. Uh, I'm gonna ask you guys to do something that some of you may not like. I'm gonna ask you guys to share your strats and share your advice with everybody. Within our teaching materials
Whoa.
page, we have a place. We have a channel that is in Discord, on our Discord, that says teaching materials. We want everyone. I'm not a wannabe. You're a wannabe, Mama RG. We want you guys. I want
Damn.
you guys
Look at you.
to go and make any VOD reviews that you do for anyone else or someone on your team, to post them in there. Same with other people or other coaches, or if you do it for just yourself, like if you just want to record yourself and then go over what it is you're doing, or if you want to put up a lecture on something, on whether like how space works, how ultimate economy should be operating or whatnot, to put it out there, because the only way that it's going to start is if someone starts. And I want everyone here, all the coaches, to be fighting to be that person that starts that, because this community, in the end, our goal is to improve, not necessarily to win. Well, winning is fun. We're all gamers. I get it. We all want to win. Hooray. I understand. I get competitive too when I'm out there fighting for my own SRs. However, when it's in this community, I want all of us to improve together, and I want us to be very open, so that we can all go and improve off of each other, and to facilitate, like said in the beginning, with our mission is to facilitate uh, team creation in a healthy and safe environment for people. And the only way that's going to happen is if everyone is sharing with everybody, if information is shared amongst everyone.
Yep.
So I understand that all the coaches may not like that very much, and because they don't want their secret stats to be shown out. I'm not asking you just to show all your secret strats and scrims and whatever to everybody. I'm asking you to put out videos and explanations and answer questions from people who really need to understand different basics within the game. A lot of people might be surprised, but a lot of people don't understand um, what it is, how important high ground is, or how to even use it properly, or when to be on the high ground, and things like something so simple that all of us know. No, not a lot of people fully understand it, or even the
Yeah.
cliche "team, please get on the payload." Sometimes it's not the right answer to be on the payload, and
Yep.
not everyone understands how that works. And it's up to us coaches to really go forward and spread the information that these people have and that we have, so that these people can understand how this is supposed to work. And I'm actually going to be talking with Nick and maybe even some of the casters, to see if maybe like every other Wednesday or something, we can do some form of learning stream, to where either myself or some other coaches can come on and basically just answer questions from the community, do like some VOD reviews from people who want to submit their VODs and whatnot. So people can really kind of understand what people are going on there with. So other than that, those are some of the really exciting projects that is going on. Again, if you guys want to assist me with my project to help you guys, please keep an eye out for it and let me know. If you're just super ecstatic, anyone's free to DM me those your stats. All you gotta do is ask me what it is I'm looking for what heroes, and I'll let you know, um, and all that. Um, for the forums after the stream, I'm gonna repost all the forums and important information, so that everyone can get a hold of those. To include the current list that has all the players and teams on it, or at least everyone that it is. Also, I forgot to mention actually a little while ago, if you're a solo player that's coming in from solo queue, or you just heard about us and you're not actually on a team, you do need to fill out the player form in order for me to go and actually like add you to this, because that's how I figure it out. That's how I know who all is a player. It's just to help us keep track of everybody.
Hmm.
Also, on top of that, one last thing the is we are actually introducing a team cap. We are introducing a player limit to our teams.
Ooh.
We're capping it at 2 managers per team, 3 coaches, official coaches per team, 12 active players, and 3 inactive players, for a total of 15 players per team. This is to prevent teams from having like 30 freaking players and 8 coaches. Yes, that was actually a team last season, had almost 30 players and about 6 to 8 coaches,
Okay, real quick.
which is ridiculous.
Yeti just asked, when is All Stars being announced? Yeti, you're in All Stars. You're one of the tanks from All Stars.
You
Yeah.
missed the All Stars, man.
You missed it a little bit. He said he didn't have his phone for much longer, so I just wanted to make sure. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
Carl.
No, you're good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're in.
congratulations.
You're in, buddy. Congrats.
You are one of the All Stars.
Sorry. Continue, Carl. You were.
Nah, but um, but yeah. So it's just to prevent teams from being so large they should have 2 teams. When you could take one team could be 2 teams, and it's not a proper and a healthy team environment when you have 30 people on one team.
Yeah.
A healthy team is usually somewhere around 15 to 12 players. So unfortunately, this might mean that some teams do need to drop some players, but hopefully that doesn't hit you guys too hard, and you guys fully understand what it is that we're trying to do with this, and all that. Also, as far as coaches, you are limited to 3 coaches. So
Yep.
for coaches, in order to have a coaching role, you need to be listed as a coach, which means you need to fill out the coaching form that states that you are a coach. If you do not do this, you will not be a coach, and you cannot sit inside. Well, you can be a coach for your team, but you won't be an official one, and you will not be listed as someone who is allowed to sit and spectate the team's games as the rules, per the rules.
And you can't
So
collect
that's up to you.
$200 either.
Yeah, no collecting $200.
You can't pass
either.
go.
Sorry. Do not pass go. Do not collect
Yeah.
$200. You go straight to jail. Sorry.
Mhm.
But other than that, guys, if for a few minutes, I'm going to take a few minutes that if anyone has any questions specifically for myself that I can answer to you as your assistant commissioner, please feel free to go ahead and ask me now. And I will do my best to answer them.
Yeah, someone asked when it starts being announced. One asked, when are the DC Dons coming back? That was hysterical. Someone, Adbon asked, what was the whole thing about Masters players? We weren't talking about you.
The best way to solve most of those is go with like a summary at the end. And just like go over what we
All right.
So, Mamarji got it right. You have to average Masters over like 3 seasons prior to the season, or end one of the seasons in Masters to be considered a Masters to
Now,
be
I
out.
will also say that revolving around that might be subject to changes. That's a very new thing that we're going to try. If we end up with a bunch of teams that have like a piss load of Masters in them or something,
Yeah,
that rule will be changed.
that makes
Because
sense.
we're not going to do that. We're doing it to try and keep people from trying to sandbag themselves to keep them in diamond.
Yeah. So, like, obviously, if you're like 3490, 3490, 3520,
Yeah.
you know, it's like,
You're
no,
like,
you
nah,
can't make it.
not fam.
Yeah,
No, fam. Like, be reasonable, guys.
I get it. Any other questions, chat? Spiff, you got any cool questions for us? I see you.
Yeah, that's right, Spiff. You can't hide from us.
Calling you out. What about you, Artillatron? Congrats on your mod in the Boston Chord, by the way. All right, yeah, Adbon, you should be good then if you haven't averaged. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Incariel? He's ended around like 3,400 to 3,350.
I mean, you're still diamond. You're
Yeah.
not masters. I mean, so I don't even know why you're
Oh,
asking about it.
Asriel.
You haven't even hit masters.
Our
You're actually
casters.
gonna get paid for a change. Now, it's actually interesting that you mentioned that, as that. I don't know. Am I allowed to say this? Yeah, screw it. I might get yelled at. So our end goal, depending on how fat. Now, this is actually completely based on the community. If the Twitch ends up where we can start accepting subscribers, so we end up with far more viewers and whatnot, and we grow to that size where we actually start making money from Twitch, we do want to start giving some of that money towards our casters to pay for their time. However, that's up to you guys. I mean, y'all have to sit. Y'all need to come in and give the Twitch its views, spread the word, get people invested in it, in order for that to happen. I mean, that's kind of how that works. Is it peak average or season end average? It's always peak average.
Oh, it is peak average. My bad.
Yes, peak
Oof.
average.
Oh, sock and mouth.
Sorry, we can't. We don't have nearly enough. We don't have nearly enough players to really even consider actually officially adding, like, really diamonds or anything.
Oh yeah.
To the team, we just don't have enough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, if you guys can go out and start recruiting people and getting to the point where we have a lot of diamonds and masters, we might then might be able to convince the rest of the board to actually push to remove the diamond restrictions that we currently have in place for teams. But again, a lot of it just comes down to OWCC growth. As right now, a lot of it is we're trying to focus on the lower SR guys, on the little guys, and we can't open ourselves up to the diamonds until we know, or in the master players and the higher elo players until we can until we know that we are gonna have a stable flow of them or anything. Like, we just can't do it.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be good for the league. Rank split? I mean, what do you mean by rank split?
I think he means like how is because they isn't there some kind of incentive for teams to like recruit gold and silver players to their team?
Yeah, by only allowing 2 diamonds to play and one at a time,
Yeah.
and not within the same roster.
Oh, so yeah,
Split
she's
tier
saying.
for high level player. Oh, so you're talking about a league split, basically. So that's something that we want to do, but again, that comes down to we just simply don't have stable enough teams and numbers to do it. We just don't. A lot of this really does count to. Oh, by the way, Mama RG is a female.
Yeah.
That is not a.
Oh no, my bad.
Dude, you said he.
I said she the second time. My bad.
Lols. But that honestly comes down to how much the league itself grows. If the league is growing and it's to the point where we can actually facilitate that and we can support it, then there's an argument for it and we can do it. However, if that doesn't happen, then we can't expand to that. We can't expand to the point where we only have like 2 diamond teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the most stale season ever of just 2 diamond teams playing each other. We just can't do that.
And so it is by peak.
Yes, all averages for SR that we record is by your peak.
Last question was Spiff asking, "How's your face?" So how are you guys?
How is my face?
How are
my
all
face
of you?
is good.
It was smooth,
I haven't shaved in a little bit, so I'm a little rough,
How are you,
Lotion
Rambino?
off a bit.
I am fantastic.
Fantastic. That's what he said.
All right.
I am spiff-tastic.
Ooh.
Can we
Got
kick
him.
him from the call?
Oh,
Yeah, hold on.
Setting consent. Are seasons weighted? No, they
just watch
It's
watch
whatever.
the stream for a second. Wait till it goes off. No, watch. Oh, this is really
you
funny.
spiffed to me. I don't have to be spiff. I can do it if I can say I'm spiff-tastic if I want.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
So
delay.
to answer your question, Alpha Wolf, or not Alpha Wolf, Abaddon, I'm sorry. Seasons are not weighted. Every season is equal to each other season. It's whatever your last 3 seasons are that you've placed in, whatever your current peak is for those, that's what your average SR is. That's what you're considered in this league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry I made you cringe, buddy. Any other questions from anybody else in chat? Anything else while I'm here?
I think we're
Let me
good.
get out my calculator.
We're getting slim on questions.
Alright. I'm curious as to why season peaks are the standard, since I've touched plat a few times but not maintained it. I might be inaccurately labeled plat. I am not considered wood. I will have you know I am almost considered diamond.
He's
Woman?
rock. He's rock.
That's
Whoa.
right.
Whoa.
Yes, it does include current seasons, and to answer your question, constant law. Um, it's so the reason why we put it on peak is because a lot of times what happens with people's SR is they'll climb up. So like let's say you start at 2200, right? That's what you start a season in, and you go and you might queue up with a few guys and you just go and you climb and you climb and you climb and you hit like 2450, right? You hit it and then you end up dropping a little bit, because you haven't quite figured out what it is you need to do to get a little higher. You'll drop your SR a little bit, then you just kind of flat line, and then after that, then you'll figure out what it is, and you go and you climb and you climb and you climb, and then you hit plat or whatever, and then you'll drop a little bit, and so on and so forth. So your peak basically, what it is tells you what you're capable of playing at. Basically, it's the highest level that you were capable of playing at. So by placing you constantly in that environment, it will allow you to try and play like that consistently. So then you end up climbing a little bit more and you get a new peak, and then you can do it again and then again. That way you're actually pushing yourself, as opposed to just putting you against where it is you normally play. You want to try and put yourself a little bit higher than where it is you actually are. That way you're constantly having to think critically and improve yourself. What about a coach versus player game? Ooh, that sounds interesting, actually.
That'd be really cool. I'd be okay with like a casters versus players game. We'd crush all of the players.
Crush all of them.
Oh,
casters versus
Yeah,
players?
the only reason why the players are the
casters
casters are
versus
playing
mods?
because we have better voices.
I don't know. I mean,
Thank you,
well, actually, let's
all
find out how many. If you would be interested in watching players versus coaches, type 1 in chat. If you'd be interested in seeing that type of game, type 1 in chat.
Casters versus All Star. To be honest, that sounds cool too. Yeah,
Oh, casters versus All Star. That would be cool.
yeah, we'd have
So
them.
these are the types of games you guys would be interested in. Type 1 in chat, please. That way I can get a gauge for how many people are actually interested in something like that.
Bottom one.
Yeah, there's a couple
There's a
ones in
few
here.
ones.
I'll
There's a
put
few.
I'll put my own one in there.
Oh, 2? Okay.
Uh-oh, orange. You're
I'll
really
put my
messing
own
up over
one.
here.
How about veterans versus all stars? Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a bit.
Okay, so there's a few. All right. I'll talk to the board, see if I'll talk to Nick. Nick is our for those of you that don't know, Nick, Super King Nicholas is actually our 7 balls. He's our manager for media, so I'll talk to him, see if we can't set something up. About that. Huh. Honestly didn't think people would be all that interested in that, but I mean, if everyone is, then that's something that we can definitely set up.
Yeah, it would be kind of fun. We could have you and like Uma, like try to cast the game.
Oh, do the board against players?
No.
Or
You
do
guys
the-
cast. You and Uma will cast.
Oh,
and
you want me
the
to
casters
cast?
will play. Yes,
Oh.
we'll play against the All
Oh
Stars.
Lord.
Yeah.
You gotta see what it-
You can analyze our
God, you want
strats.
me to cast. Oh God.
That's actually all we do when we're not casting is we just continually play Overwatch. I tell everyone that I'm plat, but me and Noonie are actually like high grandmaster, you know.
I got people to carry.
Yeah.
Board casters.
He's the caster carry, you know. He carries the Overwatch League casters.
There you go. Oh.
I just
Lord.
carry
All right,
Goa.
well,
Oh.
that might be something we set up then. We might actually, you know what? We might do that during like the All-Star event. We'll do some special games where we might put some any cashers that want to participate. We can put them up against the All-Stars. We'll do that. Cashers against the All-Stars, and then you can have like myself and Uma or something.
Yeah.
We'll go
Cast
in.
the game.
Yeah, we'll cast the
Oh.
game or something.
All right, sounds awesome.
That's something you guys really want.
Yeah, I'm down.
That's definitely what it's showing. So, all right, cool. Yeah, that's definitely something that we can do here.
All right, so let's end it on that. Rambino,
All right.
take us away.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. That'll be it for the All-Star announcement. Thank you for everybody that tuned in once again. We'll see you all at the playoffs on January 28th.
Actually, it'll be tomorrow, January 5th. Remember, tomorrow, January 5th. Tomorrow, guys.
Just
Alright.
kidding.
Sorry, Rambino.
Debated.
I edited at the end and then told you, but that wasn't in the script. Thank you, guys.
Lord.
Have a good night.
Yep. Take care.